We're going to move on to comic news because there's lots of stuff going on.
Yes.
With comic news. So just a couple of quick things. Dawn of X starts next week. So if you're keeping up with all of that, Dawn of X, first issue of X-Men, I think. X-Men number 1 comes out
number 1
tomorrow.
starts. Yeah.
Comes out tomorrow. There's also a Hickman interview.
Adventures in Poor Taste did an interview with Jonathan Hickman, and he doesn't give a lot of spoilers, but he does kind of go into detail about some things. It's a really interesting read. They're in the show notes. I will post it in the chat if anybody wants to look at it, and we'll have it in the show notes later. But but he also, during that interview, he also teased that there will be a Moira X series coming out, and so
I support that.
Yeah. So he says that they had someone in mind for a Moira X miniseries, and they weren't sure if they were going to get this author, and we don't know who the author is yet. But he said that there was going to be the timeline was going to be filled out at the end, he said because they got the author accepted so quickly.
Hey, watch out for
they asked the author. They said, "Do you want us to post this timeline, because they do have some some points along the timeline, or do you want us to, or do you not want to be tied into that?" And he said, "Please don't post it." So the Moira X is going to kind of fill in some of those gaps in the timeline, and so we're going to see some different things from Moira. So I thought that was really interesting.
I think that's going to be great.
Did we ever verify why it was Moira X? Even though she has a last name?
We never really did talk about it. I mean, we're
talked
not
about being
sure.
Moira 10.
It never really got, explained. We thought about maybe it was Moira 10, or, if she ever married Charles, it would be, Moira X. But then, at one point she's called Moira, what's her maiden name?
Kinross.
That's it, Kinross. So
Kinross McTaggart.
Yeah, so we'll have to, I don't know, it's interesting.
Okay.
But then also the Wolverine Solo got announced.
Oh, okay.
Well, we knew it was coming, folks.
It
was.
I'm not sure
Which
how
Wolverine
I feel
is it
about
going to be?
I think it's going to be like
It'll be Logan, right?
It'll be Logan. Yeah, Logan. That Wolverine. Sorry, not X-23.
Because she's in Fallen Angels.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm tired of Wolverine being in everything. But after the events of Powers of X,
it may make it fresh.
I want to say, with his relation to Moira, it may be interesting.
Plus, it'll just be interesting to see what the personalities, because
wow.
Aside from the fact that some characters are now alive and healthy that have been dead over the past several years,
and their personalities are a little different. It seems
some people's personalities are changed; they're altered because they've just
and
lived
that's
different
one
lives.
thing that reading in the Hickman interview, he said that he was talking about. Some people liked and some people didn't like that Marvel Girl went to her old green and yellow outfit, and he said, well, think about when she has gone back to that outfit, like what important event in her life she's gone back to that, So I don't remember that right offhand, so I'm going to have to look that up. But so he's got some little clues here and there that he's kind of dropping. So.
I like that she went back to it because it's kind of retro cool.
It is.
I think
it's kind of retro.
It's like these boots are made for walking. And that's kind of what I think of.
Yeah, and that was the thing as he was talking. He said you also see her more modern outfit, but it is also in green and gold, as all Jean Grey outfits should be.
Yes, agree. Because I didn't like the last red.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot more green and gold.
Well, yeah, maybe it's a callback to when she was, I don't know, more naive and more idealistic and
maybe
less dead so many times.
But she's not naive, because think about when she shut Sabretooth down. She's not naive, but I think she's not as wounded. Perhaps.
I'm not suggesting she is, but maybe it's just kind of a reference to.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll save that for discussion.
So
East of West. Oh, sorry. Do you want to?
No. So two things I was going to talk about with comic news. East of West is on its final arc. Last 6 issues Hickman's going to do for it. I read read 43, and he's continuing being Hickman. It's awesome. And then last but certainly not least, it is now official. Spawn has broken the record with 301 as the longest-running creator-owned comic.
Nice.
Go Todd McFarlane.
Awesome.
Congratulations, man.
All right. So, in other comic news, what are you reading? Well, I wanted to point out that I picked up this week, because I'm not reading a ton, but I did pick up because I've been talking about Fantastic Four for a while now. I've been talking about Invisible Woman for a minute now. Issue number 1 of Doctor Doom came out.
Let's see.
Yep, take a look. Loved the art, loved the story.
Is this an ongoing or a mini?
Ooh, Salvador LaRocca.
Yeah.
I might read it just for that.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a very interesting take on Doctor Doom that I've not read before. So it was. I thought it was very good.
He's amazing.
And so I would be curious to see what you guys think about it. So feel free to borrow it or pick it up yourself. But whoever's doing Fantastic Four Family recently has been doing a really good job, I think. And I wanted to bring this up because I think Doug and I had talked about it in one of the previous shows where we were talking about how movies are leading the comics and not the other way around these days. And I was reading something just recently and realized that, and I can't tell you when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, or any of that, but I can guarantee you that we're going to be seeing Quasar in the movies pretty soon. We're going to be seeing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So it's just interesting the way they're doing things now. But this was a really good book, I thought, and it was a interesting take on Doctor Doom, where he's a little bit more gray than he has been in the past, and it kind of lets you into his interior, in his interior life. So I thought it was very interesting.
Well,
Who's
I'm not
the
sure.
writer on that one?
Christopher Cantwell.
I've not heard of him, but
Well, you know, as I'm flipping through this and listening to you, it makes me think of Black Adam. Because you know how he's a bad guy, but only because his first love and responsibility is to his home country. And, you know, he's always about, you know, his country and stuff. And he does.
and this is very much this way. But I really thought the art was great.
The art's stupendous.
Isn't it?
It's absolutely. Now, is this it feels slightly larger than a comic book. Is it the
Yeah,
same?
I think it's a little bigger.
No,
I don't know. Let me see it.
No, hand me one of your.
Oh, you mean like covered and size
Do
wise?
you think it could just be the paper?
No, it's same size, but it's something.
It's thicker.
It feels.
It's like more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Well, this one's big too.
There's
though.
that huge insert in there.
This is a big issue.
That might
too.
be it, but
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to flip through
Yes,
it?
please.
Yeah. So also,
Yeah, so I picked this book up. It's only got one issue out. It's called Nomen Omen, and I actually think that
I may borrow that.
the folks that have read the Black Magic and really enjoyed it, I think would
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
would really enjoy this
I
comic.
love Black Magic.
So
I flipped through it at the store. It did look good.
the first part, so the timing, I'm not quite sure where the actual times are. It starts off in 1995. A young, you know, two girls, kind of a couple driving across country, come across an accident. They find there's only one survivor, and she's pregnant. She's covered like head to toe in kind of symbolic symbols. I guess that doesn't make much sense. And all sorts of satanic kind of symbol-looking stuff, and all written in blood. And she's pregnant, and she transfers her baby into one of the girls. And then it jumps ahead to present day, and then you find out something's happened with this girl. She's now an adult. And then it kind of jumps back a little bit to when she's turning 21. The interesting thing about the comic is it does that very similar thing with Black Magic where it's kind of monochromatic, and then it has little pops of color.
Yeah.
I love that.
And there's an additional aspect.
Pops, that's really.
Well,
There's,
no, but see it back here.
Moves from.
there's an additional
Oh, got it.
aspect to this because the girl that is turned 21, she actually has complete and total color blindness. So she sees everything in black and white. And so they're making this joke because they made her this cake that's like a birthday cake with all like rainbow colors. Her parents are obviously lesbian mothers. So there's this kind of, you know, pride aspect to it. And she has like this Instagram account called Nomen Omen that she posts all sorts of stuff. She's like a Google intern.
Interesting that it's no men.
Yeah. Nomen Omen.
And they're,
so-
and they're lesbians.
I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff in here
Is Nomen
that
like Latin for something?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I
And
thought
I
it
could-
was
consult my computer.
And I don't know if you picked up on this, but this was originally an Italian book.
I did pick that up with the last name.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually do this, but at the very end, there's a little excerpt from the author, and I don't typically read those because I'm like, if they want me to know it, they should have put it in the comic. And this one caught my attention because they call it something secrets of the story, and a few things that kind of caught my eye is he talks about how sorry, can you give it to me real fast because I was actually going to look at it when I wrote about this. So there's an important part that he makes about this is going to be a cruel story, and he's basically warning you this is going to be cruel.
Don't give us
and no. But he's like, everybody in this story is in complete danger, even when they don't know it. And he makes a point about this young girl who has essentially 3 mothers. The one that
that died.
Yeah, no, the one that died, the one that actually carried her to term, and then the other one. And they talk about, magic always has a price and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And one thing he says, above all, please pay attention to the names. So that's going to be tough for me because I'm not good with names.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because Nomen, it says Nomen Gentilicium was the part of a Roman citizen's name that identified them as Roman. Originally, it had also identified their membership of a particular Roman family or clan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
According to their patrilineal descent.
Okay.
But they say at the end, please pay attention to the names, to give them, accept them, to repeat them. Your life is at stake. So I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. It seems like this is a very thought out comic that I think it's only going to be a 15-issue series. Mm-hmm. So from what I've read, I'm pretty excited about where it's going.
All right, and real quick, the other thing you had before we get into Hoxpox.
Yeah, so the other thing that I have, I've seen these before, the comics. They're little ash cans. They're like little previews of comics. And there's one coming out called Wellington. And I read it. It's like 5 pages. And it's going to be about a monster hunter kind of in the 1800s. Yeah, 1848. The reason that I'm excited about this one is because it's actually from a guy named Aaron Mahnke. And if you don't know who that is, there's a podcast out there called Lore. And Lore, Lore. And they also did an Amazon Prime TV show based off of the podcast. It's very good. He tells a lot of historical lore, folklore, but he puts kind of this, real things that happen into it to kind of give it some more human flavor. Like this is actually something that happened. It's not all just smoke and mirrors kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that one too.
All right, cool. Let's move on to Hoxpox before we run out of time. Anybody want to kick off this?
Let's let our resident X-Men lover,
That's kind of what we're looking at you.
who was so ready for Hickman, and we didn't know what to expect.
Y'all didn't even know.
We had no idea.
No idea.
Before you go,
But-
let me just let everybody know this cat is so soft and well behaved.
Mm-hmm.
He is, well, I don't know about well behaved, but he is soft.
I don't like cats, but you're adorable. Okay, go ahead.
He can be well
Yeah.
behaved.
So I was totally satisfied with this entire run. So that was the thing, is we got down to like the last 2 issues, and for some reason I expected, I felt like a closure was going to come, like that this was going to be,
but instead
some sort of thing.
was the
But
beginning.
instead, this is an absolute prologue. Like this is like the first act in a 2-year opera.
Yes,
And
it was beautiful.
It is absolute. I love everything that has been set up. I love that there are still questions out there. It just is. I just really have enjoyed the entire thing. But I mean, of course, I probably was going to anyway. But it really did just. He weaved and just worked everything together to reframe the entirety of the X-Men's history,
in a believable way.
Yeah,
in a
it
well
totally makes
executed
sense.
artistic way.
Right.
And it's
It didn't make you go.
Yeah.
So ever since, and I'm gonna bring them up again because they're the best. Ever since Marv Wolfman and George Perez did Crisis on Infinite Earths and redid the DC universe, everyone has tried to recapture that magic. And DC keeps trying, Marvel keeps trying. Everyone's like, let's have a big event. Let's reshape things. And it's always garbage. This to me was that same scale, and it was equally well executed.
Yeah.
Well, lots of big jaw-dropping moments, lots of big, oh wow, never thought of that.
Yeah.
Those kinds of moments I think made this book really excellent. Or not book, but run.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, that's the thing is it's the thing that we've been complaining about the entire time. Hickman, finally an author came along that had the clout to say, I want to do a long form story. I want to do character development and build things, and it felt like you said. It felt like an event.
It was epic.
It was epic. It was grand. It reframed so many things and set the stage for everything that's to come. But at the same time, it wasn't an event. It didn't have 15 bajillion tie-ins. Like the War of the Realms had some X-Men tie-ins. I didn't read any of those, and I didn't miss anything.
Didn't even care.
Didn't
Right.
even
miss
care.
anything.
But it was important. It was
But-
well crafted. It was perfectly paced. Yeah, and as a reader, it was just so nice to be excited to go to the bookstore, pick up the book, and instantly dive into it, and then be satisfied at the end.
Yes.
Whereas
It's been a long time.
And
A
go
long
back
time.
and read it again.
Exactly.
And not only has it been a long time, but it's been a long time for the X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it
Well,
has been.
It's been a long time.
We
It's
have
been a long
lived
time
through
for
some
comics
dark
in general.
days.
Period.
Yeah.
You're right. Period. But
Yeah, definitely with the X-Men.
It's interesting you talk about War of the Realms because I read all the War of the Realms and I continued with the Thor comics that came after it, but I had no real desire to go read any of the other spin-offs. I mean, I read them as they were coming out with War of the Realms, but once that wrapped up, I was like, I don't want to keep up with this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
This one, even though it ties it up real nicely, it doesn't leave it on this huge cliffhanger. I'm actually eager to find out what they do with Dawn of X and see what they do now after the fact. So I'm planning on getting all of them. I don't know how long I'll go with them. If they're at this level, I think I could go pretty long with these comics.
Yeah. That's the thing now is can the writers live, and I won't say live up to, but can the writers continue the momentum that Hickman has set? The precedents.
Right. How well
he
can
has
they
set.
work in this new world?
Well, how long is Hickman going to be writing X-Men, though?
He's going to be writing X-Men for a while, I think.
Okay.
And I think that he
may have creative
like that's the
control
thing
over
is
some
he
stuff,
said
too. I
that
don't
he
know.
had
He has to.
there's like a 2-year plan in place. So all of this is planned out. The authors I think have I don't think it's going to be like Marvel editorial coming in and trying to change things, but I think that they probably do have story points that they're probably given little guideposts that they need to get to.
So are they?
if I had my guess,
Are they going to hold Hickman to a schedule?
That's the thing is like
he's probably already got him.
He
He probably worked 6 months in advance.
Right.
Yeah.
probably.
I don't know. I can say
So-
that the East of West, and I'm still waiting for friggin' Black Monday Murders to come back.
Well, Black Monday Murders,
That's 'cause the artist got sick, but-
got sick. Yeah, some things happened there. So,
But I
to
looked
go?
at the
But
East of
yeah.
West comic. It was 6 months since the last one, which I know he was probably doing the
Yeah.
House of X.
well, and it's kind of been like that between arcs anyway.
Yeah.
He'll kind of do an arc for a little while, and then there'll be a big break. That's why I'm waiting on the big deluxe issue, the deluxe hardcovers to come out. I've got volume 1 and 2, and I'm waiting on number 3. So,
Yeah.
but
So great way to end this.
yeah.
This.
And
I'll call it an event because it kind of was an event.
It was
Yeah.
also nice that it was weekly.
It was nice.
That was really
Thank God.
nice.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I usually pick up comics on Sunday because it's the weekend. I'm lazing around. I get up, I go and pick up my comics. Blah blah blah. No. Home from work on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
Well, and it
swung
was
in, picked
interesting
them up.
too.
I'll do it tomorrow.
That they, they were going back and forth, except for House 3 and 4. And when I went to go pick up 4, the guy at the comic shop, he was like, "You need to go back and read 3, and then read 4, and just read them in one continuous sitting." And I went back and did that, and it was so impactful. Like you saw that whole thing play out, and it was just, it's just good stuff.
I just like how they faked us out in places. It's just
and they took characters that you had known for forever, but
and made them interesting.
Yeah, made them interesting. Gave them actual, Moira. Who would have thought that at the end of this, I would have been like, wow, Moira may be one of my favorite characters.
Moira McTaggart is really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go Balls.
Yeah, Go Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
Exactly.
Hope that I've never really liked.
See, I liked Hope.
She was irritating to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to like her because at first I thought she was Jean Grey, come back to life, and then she wasn't.
I thought that too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So hopefully you liked it as well. We'll keep you updated as we move forward with Hoxpox, or in this case, Dawn of X.
Moving to Dawn of X.
Hoxpox Docs.